Hello, willkommen das Gamescom. I'm here with Peter Brown. How are you, my friend?
Good. It's been a long week, but it's been a fun one.
It has, and you topped it off with a game that's coming out very, very soon. It's coming out just a couple of weeks' time. Same day as Metal Gear Solid 5. Tell me all about Crazy Mad Maxwell.
Mad Max, right? Probably most of us saw the film and loved it, and we want more of that. You're going to get some of the stuff that was from the film, but this game isn't even based on the film. It's based on the Mad Max property. So you've got Max, you're set in the wasteland. You've got a vehicle, but it's not the Interceptor. It is the Magnum Opus. It's a car that you spend lots of time, customizing. It's your work, the thing that you spend a lot of time doing. Essentially what you're trying to do is, survive in the wasteland and sort of defend yourself from these different factions that are out there to get you. And there are two really big components to the game. There is the exploration stuff that you do on foot within small missions and strongholds that has combat very similar to the Batman series. And then you have the driving stuff and the driving combat. What do you want to know?
I don't know. I did a little bit of the driving stuff myself. I only got 5 or 10 minutes on it, and it kind of felt like a little bit like Mordor in a way, where there was a kind of a big map. It wasn't too big, but I had this car, and I was kind of looking at different parts of the map and seeing what was there. And there was a sniper tower, which was cool, and a car that I crashed into and had a bit of combat with that. What was your experience of playing the car stuff?
So what I did is I used the car to go towards a waypoint, which is where a mission was going to take place. And the driving feels pretty good. You can fire weapons from the car, either as Max, where you have a shotgun, or your little buddy Chum Bucket in the back can use a harpoon or a rocket launcher to help you tear things down or blow them up. And I thought there was a lot of potential to it, and I still think there might be, but the demo that I played was very limited because I got to the stronghold and they wanted me to sort of take apart these vehicles and blow them up. I was driving in really tight quarters. When you aim holding the L1 button on the PlayStation controller, time slows down. And you get these little reticles that you can then put your reticle over and hit circle to act upon it. But the camera moves a lot. And when you get finished firing your weapon, the camera doesn't always go back to where you want it. So I actually found myself a little bit flustered trying to navigate through this small but populated environment after firing my weapons.
What was it like on foot then? Presumably the camera issues weren't as exaggerated then?
The camera issues weren't really a problem at that point. I mean, you don't really have a whole lot to do. You're running around, you sort of engage in combat, but you don't have things like the harpoon, you don't have the rocket launcher, so you don't have this sort of set of fantastical tools to use. You've basically got a shotgun, you've got a knife, and you've got your fists. The combat is almost identical to the Batman series, and for me personally, it is a very simplified system that's not very fun.
Right.
I don't feel like I'm really doing anything with my own creativity, as a combatant. You sort of you tap square, you see an icon, you press triangle. It's kind of rudimentary, so I'm not really excited about that part, if I'm honest.
There's another game very similar to this, Just Cause 3, in the sort of coming out this year in the sort of way that you're going to be a single character in a large world with a checklist of stuff to do.
It's made by the same studio.
It is, in fact, made by the same studio. It kind of reminds me a bit, like I said, Mordor, but also like Far Cry, where you've got outposts, but then you've got random things that happen, and you're exploring. Is that the type of game that it is? Is it just like a checklist of things to do? I
mean, it's open world. You can just run around and do a bunch of stuff, or you find waypoints, and I believe there is a story that has beats to it that then send you to specific locations. I think what my biggest concern is that the most potential for Mad Max lies in the car stuff.
Yeah.
And I haven't really seen how that's being put to use. In the movie, it was so great because you had these drawn-out chases, right? Where they catch up to Max, and maybe he blows them up and keeps going, and then he comes up on something else and has to change his tactics. I don't know how the car is going to be used in that regard. If there will be pretty big chases. I really hope so, because I think that really is the most interesting aspect. Just Cause, on the other hand, is this big, fantastical thing with these incredible tools that are so over the top and exciting. Right now, if I had to choose between the two, I would absolutely choose Just Cause 3.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess we'll hear more about Mad Max over the coming weeks before it comes out. Thanks very much, Peter. And for more information on Mad Maxwell and everything happening here in beautiful Cologne, Germany, stay tuned to GameSpot.com.